Welcome to today's deep dive. I am so excited you're joining us because we have a truly fascinating property to explore. If you ask anyone what the hardest part of starting a massive homesteading or like a big workshop project is, they usually say finding the land.
Right, the land itself.
Yeah. But what if I told you the actual nightmare isn't the dirt, but fighting the county for permits and paying thousands just to trench power and water to your site?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge barrier.
Exactly. So today we're looking at a property that basically acts as a legal bypass to all that infrastructure headache. Before we get into the mechanics of why, we need to get the specifics out of the way. The listing agent is Walter.key of Epique Realty. This is the address, 6930 County Road, 214, Melrose, FL 32666. So we're looking at a case study in practical property value today, listed at $179,900.
It really is a fascinating snapshot of what functional value looks like right now. I mean, we're looking at a lovingly maintained 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Yeah, it has 1,488 square feet of interior space, built in 1970, and it's complete with a metal roof.
I got to pause you right there because, well, when I hear a 1970 build date, my mind immediately goes to those traditionally compartmentalized, closed-off floor plans.
Oh, for sure, the very boxed-in rooms.
Right. So how does a layout from that era handle our modern obsession with open indoor-outdoor living? I feel like that's so important to people now.
Well, that is exactly where the architecture of this specific house pivots. It features this oversized attached Florida room,
Oh, nice.
right? But rather than just being a stuffy greenhouse where you keep like a few ferns, this addition fundamentally shifts the footprint of the house.
Oh, so, like, is it actually usable year-round?
Yeah, it functions as a transitional zone, so you get the temperature control and protection of the indoors, but with panoramic visibility of the property.
Wow, so you're totally connected to the outside.
Exactly. It essentially tricks the eye into expanding that 1,488 square feet outward. It pulls the natural environment right into your daily living space without, the massive HVAC costs of a traditional brick and mortar addition.
Okay, that makes so much sense. You are expanding the usable living area without blowing up the utility bill. That is brilliant.
It really is.
So if this Florida room is constantly pulling your attention outside, what exactly are we looking at out there? Because I know the lot is pretty expansive.
It is. You are stepping out onto 2.76 acres of agriculturally zoned land, and it's heavily shaded by these gorgeous mature live oaks.
Oh, I love live oaks.
Right. But the real story isn't just the trees or even the sheer scale of the acreage, it's what's already sitting on it.
Okay, lay it on me.
There are two massive outbuildings. One is nearly 1,700 square feet, and the second is almost 1,800 square feet. Plus, there's a newer electrified shed near the rear patio.
Wait, let me do the math on that. That is nearly 3,500 square feet of outbuildings.
Yep, pretty much.
That is like a blank canvas for your wildest ambition. But honestly, couldn't someone just buy a cheap 2-acre lot somewhere else and drop a couple of prefabricated metal sheds on it?
I mean, they could, sure, but they'd be entirely missing the hidden cost of modern infrastructure.
Oh, right, the utility tie-ins.
Exactly. Both of those massive outbuildings already have water and power running to them. If you try to build that from scratch today, you aren't just paying for the metal and the concrete slabs.
You're paying for an electrician to trench lines hundreds of feet.
Yes, you are paying a plumber. You are waiting months for county inspectors to approve your utility tie-ins.
Ugh, the waiting is the worst part.
It is. Having pre-existing utility-connected workspace of this magnitude already in place skips the grueling, expensive groundwork. You are buying time and immediate utility, not just square footage.
That is the aha moment right there. It's the infrastructure that holds the real value. You get to skip the trenching and go straight to actually using the space. But let's talk about the geography of this.
Okay, let's do it.
Because usually when you find a 2.7-acre agriculturally zoned property with massive workshops, you are an hour away from civilization. Like you have to pack a lunch just to go to the grocery store.
Well, geography is actually what makes the Melrose area so interesting here.
Really? How so?
The property has this highly insulated rural feel. You even have a covered outdoor pavilion on the lot for private BBQs and things like that.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Best of both worlds.
It really is, because yet you are only minutes from actual town conveniences. And, more importantly, you are a 10-minute drive from Lake Santa Fe.
Wait, Lake Santa Fe, how big is that?
It's a 6,000-acre lake with a public boat ramp.
Are you kidding? So it completely changes the rhythm of your week.
Absolutely.
You aren't just isolated in your workshop. You can spend the morning running power tools in the outbuilding, and by noon, you're out on the water.
Exactly. It removes the friction between productivity and recreation.
I love that phrase, removing the friction.
Yeah, you don't have to plan a whole weekend getaway to be out in nature or get on a boat because the infrastructure for both your work and your downtime is built right into your immediate environment.
Which brings us back to that price tag of under $180,000. When you factor in the land, the lovingly maintained home, and the massive offset of those pre-wired outbuildings, it really is a blueprint for a completely different pace of life.
It proves that finding space to grow doesn't strictly require moving to the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely not. So if you have ever dreamt of having the space to grow, work, and play without sacrificing convenience, this property is a literal blueprint for that dream.
Definitely.
So we'll leave you with this to ponder. If you suddenly had nearly 3,500 square feet of powered, plumbed outbuilding space just steps from your back patio, what passion project would you finally bring to life?